So in this part, we are going to discuss about intangible assets. So intangible assets comes under the non-current asset. So intangible non-current assets have no physical substance. For example, like copyright, they can be purchased or may be created within a business without any expenditure being incurred. For example, internally generated intangible assets are there. Best example is brands. Purchased intangible non-current assets are capitalized. Okay, so whenever any capitalized are like they are considered as an asset. Okay, generally internally generated assets may not be capitalized. So a company cannot show its brands. Okay, it cannot show its brands as a asset, so may not be capitalized. Indefinite useful life. So a company cannot show a brand as a intangible asset, but it can show anything which is purchased as a intangible asset. It can show. Okay, so be very clear in that. Amortization is depreciation of a intangible asset with a definitive useful life. So depreciation, okay, for an intangible is used in the word called as amortization. An intangible asset with indefinite useful life. Okay, so it's not going to end on a particular year. It's going to keep on continuing for a long time. Should not be amortized. There's no depreciation for it, but it should be checked annually for impairment. So impairment refers to any sudden decrease in value. Okay, so for example, any goodwill. Okay, goodwill acquired during purchase, so that can be showed as a intangible asset with indefinite useful life. So we have to check periodically whether there's any damage to that goodwill. So another part where we have to think about intangible is in terms of research. So research can be defined as original, unplanned investigation undertaken with the prospect of gaining new uh, scientific or technical, or technical knowledge and understanding. All research expenditure should be written off to the statement of profit or loss as it is incurred. This is in compliance with the prudence concept. Okay, so any research expense has to be going to the P&L account expense side. Research expenditure does not directly lead to future benefits, and therefore it is not possible to follow the matching concept. Okay, so research benefit is only created for the purpose of gaining new scientific or technical knowledge. So that does not create any sales for the company. So because of that, it is shown as an expense. Any capital expenditure on research equipment should be capitalized and depreciated as normal in accordance with IES. Okay, so any capital expenditure, okay, any asset that has been bought for research purpose, okay, for research equipment, that can be shown as an asset. Okay, that is not a problem. Any asset that has been purchased for research purpose, that can be shown as an asset. So what is the development cost? Development can be defined as the application of new research findings or other knowledge to a plan or design for the production of new or substantially improved material, device, product, process, system, service before the start of commercial production or use. Very simply, if you have a idea, okay, if you have some idea and you are developing that idea to make a final product which could be sold, okay, that could be sold, then that cost is called as development cost. Okay, so if you are only like trying to get knowledge out of something, that is research cost. If you're trying to use a knowledge to make a product that can be sold, is development cost. So this cost can be capitalized. So the criteria is, if criteria met, capitalize. If not met, you have to expense it. It should be a separate project. Okay, expenditure should be identifiable. There should be a market for that product, and it should be a commercially viable. Okay, there should be a someone people customers have to buy it. It should be technically possible. Overall, it should be profitable, and the technical and financial things should be available. In short, we should be able to make money out of it. Okay, just an idea for an idea's sake, we cannot like consider it as an asset. Okay, with that idea, any expense that we made, it should make us some kind of a benefit. It should make some kind of a income for the company. If it makes, it's a development cost. So if capital expenditure that no longer meets these criteria should be has been treated as an SOPL. If any capital expenditure does not meet the criteria, should be shown as an SOPL. If research expenditure has been treated as an expense, it cannot subsequently be restated as asset. So once an expense, it is always an expense. Measurement of intangible asset. Initial recognition of an intangible asset is at cost. Subsequent measurement can be price on the active market. So initial, on the first time when you showed it on the balance sheet, it should be at the cost. Okay, the cost that you have spent to buy it or to develop it. Okay, but thereafter, if it has an active market, you can take that active market value and you can put it as the asset value. So if you are using cost model, it should be original cost minus accumulated depreciation. Okay, so that's about the concepts here. So we have a quiz. Which of the following statements about intangible assets are correct? If certain criteria are met, research expenditure must be recognized as an intangible asset. The answer is no. One is definitely wrong. The notes to the financial statements should disclose the gross carrying amount and the accumulated amortization at the beginning and at the end of the period for each class of intangible asset. Yes, we have like several intangible assets like copyright or trademark, uh, or for example, patent. Okay, so each of its value, the opening value, closing value, and the depreciation value, we have to show. That's like correct. Intangible assets must be amortized over their useful life. So yes, it has to be depreciated. So all the three seems to be correct. So answer should be D. Oh, sorry. The first one, I think it was wrong. Okay, the first one was wrong. Okay, so 2 and 3 are correct. So answer is A. So which of the following can be capitalized as an intangible non-current asset? So he's asking like which could be considered as a which could we could capitalize. Research done on creating a software for which many buyers are ready to buy it. So can this lead to intangible current asset? See, this is like studying the viability. Okay, we are not spending anything. Spending is actually the creation of the software. Okay, so here we are only getting an idea for creating it. So I don't think one is capitalization, it's just an expense. Okay, so one is not the answer. Cost incurred on CEO's pet project for developing an app to keep its employees healthy. See, anything which is spent by the for the benefit of employee, it's just an expenditure. We can't like consider it as a asset. So second one is not an asset. The company has spent money on research but does not intend to finish it due to lack of expertise. So it has to be completed and it has to be viable and it has to have a market to be sold. So third one is also is an expense. Cost incurred on CEO's pet project of developing an app to be sold on Android Play Store. See, now this is a development cost. Okay, they are trying to develop an app for which they are going to sell it on the Play Store. So 4 is a asset. 5. Mahindra research on battery car Reva, but Tesla has built super batteries which made Reva car worthless. Okay, so it essentially means there's no market for it. Okay, all the development has been done. It is a development cost, but still it is useless. Okay, so 4 alone, 4 is definitely is the answer. So A, B is not the answer. So it should be either 1, 3, 4 or 1 and 4. Okay, so I think 1 and 4 C is should be the answer. So let's see. Okay, I think the question is a little bit wrong. Okay, I think which of the following can be considered as expense. Okay, I think that was the question. So expenses are 2, 3 and 5 are expenses. Okay, 1 and 4 are have to be capitalized. I think the question is like some bit wrong. Okay, so exact thing is, so if you want, we can put like this. The first one is capitalization. The first one is an asset. Second is a expense. Third is an expense. Fourth is an asset. Fifth is an expense. So now we look at another quiz. Okay, so there are like different types of intangible items are there, and we will consider whether it's an intangible asset first and why it is an intangible asset or not. So customer satisfaction cost. We have spent a lot on the initiatives to improve customer satisfaction. So customer satisfaction is intangible. Can we show it as an asset? The answer is no. You cannot show it because it does not even meet the definition of an asset. Okay, an asset is a resource controlled by the entity. Okay, so customer satisfaction, we have spent money, but we cannot control their satisfaction. Okay, so we cannot do that. So it is a does not meet the definition of an asset. Internally generated goodwill. Okay, we have generated a goodwill or a brand or something. Can we show that as an asset? Again, the answer is no, because we cannot reliably measure it. Okay, we cannot measure it, so it is no. It does not meet the definition of an asset. Okay, again, actually we can't measure it. That's the reason why we can't show it as an asset, because how do you measure goodwill? Goodwill has been occurred over the last 10 years time means, how can you measure goodwill? Okay, so that becomes a problem. Patent, if you have bought a patent or if you have created a patent, yes, it meets the definition of an asset, and it's also intangible. Copyright, again, yes, the same reason. Employee training expense, no, because it does not meet the definition of an asset. An asset is a resource controlled by the entity. Employees cannot be controlled, they can leave the company at any time, so it is a no. Machine repair cost, machine repair cost is again an asset, is a resource controlled by the entity from which future economic benefits are expected to accrue. So here there is no future economic benefits and all. It's only for the current year the machine is repaired. So no, it's a revenue expense. Expense on research is an expense. Expense on development, yes. Okay, so that's about the quiz. Hope you got a better clarity here. So we look at the sums with regards to intangible, and you will get a better idea of what we are like dealing with.